Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming. The lunches are being served at your table, so please take a seat. Starting in 5 minutes. Please take a seat. We'll be starting in 5 minutes. Table. If you need a vegetarian.
I can do on crutches. Yeah, I know. All right. Oh, the challenges God gives us. If I This is an exciting moment. Welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of Interfaith Community Services. My name is David Castiglione. I am Rabbi Temple Adat Shalom in Poway. I am excited to be here, to be honestly truthful with you. I haven't been amongst so many in 18 months. This is like a hallelujah moment. So welcome back. Welcome for all of your support throughout the history of Interfaith Community Services, but certainly through these most trying of times. We want you to enjoy today, enjoy the lunch, be a part of our discussions, be uplifted by all that we have to share with you. If you would, I would lead us off in an opening prayer. Dear Lord, this has been an incredible year that you have challenged us with. Difficulties, pain, and loss. And at the same time, incredible accomplishment. And so many moments for affirmation and uplift. We want to give you thanks for all of the volunteers who have helped maintain your way, your need through Interfaith Community Services. As we gather today, we want to give you thanks for all of the staff, for their dedication, for their sleepless commitment. We want to give you thanks for the leadership, for their wisdom, their patience, their determination. And we want to give you thanks for all whom we serve, for their hope, for their resiliency, for their common need. They inspire each of us to be better than who we are. You to thrive in doing your good work. Bless those we serve. Bless us. Bless this community. And bless this world. First with an end to this pandemic. And then with the realization that we are each of us created in your image. Amen.
Oh, yeah, that'll help. Here we go. Hey, thanks so much, Rabbi David. That was a great start. We've got good energy in the room, and that is a wonderful way to get our gathering. Let me introduce myself, the Reverend Meg Decker, and for the past 4 years, I have been board chair of this organization, and I too am excited to welcome you to this annual meeting. So let me get us started, and the way we want to start is, and this shouldn't be a surprise, with thank yous. Because with an organization like this, we have many, many people to thank, and a lot of them are you right here. Our volunteers. Did you know we have about 3,000 volunteers at Interfaith? If you're a volunteer, wave. Thank you for keeping us going in this past year. We have our partners, the many other organizations, the city leaders, the police departments who work with us, and of course we have donors who support all our work. I move on from this, I want to give a special thank you, special shout out to one particular group, and that's our faith centers. I represent a faith center. How many of you are part of a faith center? Faith Center started this organization, and what I want to highlight is that in this past year, if it were not for our faith centers, one of the basic needs that Interfaith offers, food, would not be available. Thanks to our faith centers offering many food drives, countless sack lunches, giving food week after week, and serving still in our nutrition center, people were able to be fed. That would not happen without you, so thank you, faith centers, for stepping up to our community, that moment of need, giving people that first step of what they need, helping them find their way into the rest of our programs. Thank you, faith centers.
Yay. Thank you, Meg. My name is Greg Angel, and I am so honored to serve as the CEO here at Interfaith Community and to be with so many friends and colleagues and partners and supporters to celebrate what you accomplished this last year. We're going to talk about and share some of those stories today, but let's start with something that you bought. You bought a hotel. Yeah. 1 year ago, bought a 77-room motel here in Escondido. $9 million in grants were provided to Interfaith Community Services. Most recently, those grants were brought forward by the recommendation of one of our county supervisors, Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remmer. Her staff are here today. They've actually brought a proclamation honoring all of you and the amazing work that you're doing. The Board of Supervisors unanimously approved twice 2 grants totaling $9 million to purchase what is going to become the Turk Recuperative Care Center. You see a rendering of it up here. For the last year, since it has been purchased, it has been providing shelter and care. You've actually helped 62 individuals come off the streets, come into the Turk Recuperative Care Center, and get access to care, support on their way to housing of their own. But that's not it. That's not the end of this place that you're creating, because we did something else. You did something else this year. We asked for your help. We said that we were going to raise $5 million to renovate this formerly blighted motel, which, by the way, calls for service to the police department have dropped 85% since Interfaith took ownership of this hotel. We said we were going to renovate and turn this into a recuperative center. What is recuperative care? Recuperative care for somebody who's being discharged out of a hospital, who does not have housing of their own and has a recuperative need. Well, you have an amazing team of nurses, social workers, mental health practitioners, behavioral health aides, providing 24/7 support at our current recuperative care center. But it's a small 32-bed center, our Hawthorne Center, and it's at capacity. Thanks to your support, we're going to be renovating the hotel to be the new Turk Recuperative Care Center. And I want to thank all the donors who have helped with this campaign, because we thought it would be a multi-year effort. We thought it would take a long time to raise $5 million to support the renovations. And thanks to the donors who you can see here, our lead donors, Jerry and Carol Turk, so many of our local and supporting foundations, you have successfully completed the $5 million fundraising campaign for the Turk Recuperative Care Center. All of the individuals and groups here were a part of it, but so many more. And they're a part of what you all are here together, coming together to support helping people in our community. And we're so happy to honor those of you supporting us today.
Don't forget to mention our bank.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we thought it would take years to complete this campaign. And the bank that lent the money to purchase it actually waived a prepayment penalty, a $77,000 gift from First Citizens Bank here in Escondido. Thank you, Meg.
It's such a great example of the way that Interfaith works with the community. But as we conclude this part of thank yous, there's one last important thank you that Interfaith needs to offer today. Each year, we at Interfaith give an award to a particular individual or family who really exemplify the spirit of Interfaith, helping people help themselves and giving that message to others, sharing that message of Interfaith. We call it the Sami Award. It is named for a former board member of Interfaith, Sami London Marcus, who was a board member who not only helped people but also expanded the Interfaith message. And so the Sami Award is here.
And today we are here to honor not just one individual, not just a couple, but an entire family. We're here to honor the Raymond family. We have Jack, Caroline, Rebecca, Raymond. The Raymond family have done. You look at a picture of Jack and Caroline in front of what is now called Raymond's Refuge, because Jack, in 2000, World War II veteran in his 80s, who with his in his car here in Escondido, and Jack said that's not acceptable, and this older couple could not afford to live on their Social Security income. But Jack had been saving his own Social Security benefits in a charitable bank account, and Jack donated the money to purchase an apartment complex, which you all then leveraged with some government support to create 2 apartment complexes, providing 16 seniors with housing today at Raymond's Refuge. And that's just part of the legacy of the Raymond family. Jack and Caroline's daughters have also supported Interfaith throughout the years. Their daughter Midge served on our board of directors, helped build our endowment. Rebecca and her daughter Jackie have been doing sack lunch Sundays throughout COVID, making sack lunches to feed thousands and thousands in our community. Jack and Caroline helped with a campaign to complete our Housing 1,000 campaign. You remember that, when we were housing 1,000 people in less than a year? And then when COVID struck, Caroline jumped right up and was one of the first to make a gift to help with our COVID response fund. Thank you enough, the Raymond family. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you much. Applause well deserved. Let's talk now a bit about the work that Interfaith thanked us for doing all this work, but we are involved in Interfaith because we know Interfaith makes a difference. Now you'll see on the slide here 5 different areas. Interfaith has over 75 programs. Did you know that? Anybody think they can name them? Fortunately, you don't need to, because they are organized in 5 different areas, as you can see there. And if you want to know more, after the meeting in this room today, outside, across the courtyard, we have these programs, program directors, various areas right there ready to explain to you what they do, give you information about the difference they make, and maybe even help you find a way to be involved. So be sure after this meeting over to visit our open house right outside and find out more about the programs we do. Now, behind these programs, there are numbers. And you all have a book on your table. Everybody got a program today. And this information, plus lots more information and stories about Interfaith, are in those bulletins. So be sure to take them home. Don't read them so much to be distracted. And take them home and read them later, because there's a lot of good info. So look at all those numbers, the work we have done. Almost 22,000 individuals were served in this last year through the programs of Interfaith Community Services. Is that an impressive number? Should we applaud that number? I think we should. It's a great number, and you can see the various ways we serve them. But I think sometimes lost in the numbers, the details of how Interfaith works. And one of the things you may not be aware of is how our various programs connect with one another. And let me tell you a story about that. I'd like to introduce you to Ross, tell you the story of Ross. Ross was a homeless man. He was ill. He was in the emergency room at Tri-City, probably close to his deathbed. But he got out of Tri-City, but going back to the streets wasn't the right place to go. So where did Tri-City send him? They sent him to our recuperative care. Greg talked about what recuperative care does, taking people from the hospital, getting them back to health. But that's not the end of Ross's story. As he healed in that place, he began to face another issue in his life. The issue that had kept him on the streets, addiction. And so, from that program, from recuperative care, he moved to recovery and wellness, completed our recovery and wellness program, and then he wasn't done yet. He re-entered the workforce, got a place to live, overcame homelessness, and now today, Ross is living independently, in housing, contributing to society, and a life that is not on the streets. That's a success story. And that's what our programs do. Ross is one of many.
It's hard to imagine that he's one of almost 22,000 people who you supported and walked alongside this last year. The numbers of the outcomes of what you're accomplishing are significant. I want to call two more to your attention that are in the program. The first is around rental assistance, because this last year, we all know that COVID has changed everything. And a lot of people haven't been able to pay their rent because they've lost their jobs. They haven't been able to work for a lot of different reasons. Well, this last year, through Interfaith Community Services, you prevented more than 1,200 people from becoming homeless by providing rental assistance. I want to call out another figure, and these two are related, because you also provide a transitional youth academy working with at-risk high school students and their families. And yet again, this year, the senior students who you worked with had a 100% graduation rate, graduating high school and moving on to college. It's a big deal. It becomes an even bigger deal when you get to know a little bit more about the challenges of what these students and their families are overcoming. So I'll share about someone who I'm going to call Cindy. Cindy's mom was the victim of domestic violence. Cindy's mom ended up in the hospital. Cindy's dad was in jail. The family was about to lose their housing because Cindy's dad was the primary breadwinner. Cindy's mom was able to get out of the hospital, and both Cindy and her mom got COVID. Cindy's mom lost her job because she got COVID. The family was forced to leave the temporary home they were in. Cindy's mental health deteriorated to the point that she almost had a catastrophic life-ending event. And that's when Interfaith was there for her. Through the Transitional Youth Academy, you connected Cindy to mental health support. You helped her mom get a new job. You provided the rental assistance to help them move into an apartment of their own. And when the kids had no beds to sleep on, you bought them new mattresses. So when you talk about a 100% graduation rate and preventing homelessness for 1,200 people, it is so much more than that. It is multi-generational impact and support. And we cannot thank you all enough for being a part of this work and helping create healing, hope, and restoration. And when we think about this, we think about the work that you do, that we do in partnerships, because it's partnerships with our schools, with our law enforcement partners, with our healthcare partners. We have a group from Neighborhood Healthcare here today, and even the arts community that make all of this work possible, partnerships.
And we change. I think that's a wonderful thing about it. It's always looking for new ways to help. And as Greg mentions arts, that's a new thing for Interfaith. What we discovered when we took over what is now the Turk Center is that there was a big blank wall, probably, or the largest blank wall in all of Escondido, huge blank wall. Who knew that that was a problem? Well, the artists know that that's a problem. So thanks to the Escondido Art Association, that problem was fixed, because the Escondido Art Association got us in touch with an artist, Mario Alvarez, who is here today, and he painted this beautiful mural. Good to see you.
Mauro, thank you for joining us today.
Likewise.
So Mauro, you created the city of Escondido, but it's a special mural. There's something different about it. What was your inspiration?
I wanted to give back to the city that I live in. Sorry, I get emotional every time I talk about it, but that's fine. Because there's a meaning, because people like me, we battled addiction, and we had restraints from succeeding in life until we enter the program. So once again, you see the lady with the phoenix in her head, that's Mother Nature. I represent the phoenix and everybody else that has an issue from succeeding in life. But once you enter the program, you'll see the birds. There's 12 blackbirds, and then it gets to purple, then orange, because after you graduate the program, every day is still a struggle, but it's brighter. So that was the meaning behind it, and then after you graduate, you have more freedom and life is more beautiful.
And Mauro, you met with the residents of our Graduate Logic program there at the Turk Center.
Yes, and Hillary and I, we sat down before I even mocked it up and asked them what would inspire them, what are their favorite colors. So you see the hair strands represent a client in the Turk Center.
Take that one. Mauro donated this. He did all of this at no fee. The Escondido Arts Association introduced us to you, Mauro. We are so thankful for that. I cannot thank you enough for your contributions. You've created something truly inspirational for our residents. And you're going to be doing something at the open house after this.
Yes, live, and I believe it'll be available at the end of it. So it'll be a live painting, so come by, ask questions. I'm very friendly. I don't bite that hard.
Awesome. Thank you, Mauro.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So the great thing about the mural Mauro created is that only the residents within our Turk Center can see it.
Isn't exactly fair, so might you tell us how the rest of us might get to see the mural?
So you're invited to come and see it. You just got to talk to me or one of our colleagues here at Interfaith, and we'd love to schedule a time for you to come and visit the Turk Recuperative Care Center and show it to you in person.
All right. One good opportunity. Well, you guys heard enough from Greg and I, yes? So let's hear from some other people. We'd like to hear now from some of the staff and to share about the work that they are doing.
I had seen recently on one of the local news channels, there was a homeless encampment that was hidden away, and somebody flying a drone came across this hidden homeless encampment. And during that interview, I really struggled because I heard the complaints, right? I heard the complaints about it, but I didn't hear any solution. What I wanted to hear during that media piece was something mentioned about programs like Interfaith that help these people. I just would like people to know that there is help in San Diego. I just want people to know that Interfaith is here. Interfaith is here, and we're trying to help those people.
We get clients from every aspect, whether they've been experiencing homelessness for several years now or recently became homeless. Case managers building close relationships with the clients coming in, helping them achieve their goals, whatever that may be to them, and helping them give them the tools they might need to become self-sufficient.
A lot of the community just isn't aware of the resources that Interfaith has available, or maybe they had a negative experience experience, you know, in a different organization, but I feel like here at Interfaith, everybody is so empathetic, very compassionate. I think that helps. And so definitely the clients coming in and trusting us, you know, with their life stories, because everybody has their own story.
I feel like the organization just empowers the employees to do their best with all of our clients, and it's a different approach each time, and that's part of what I like about it, is everybody's issues are different, and I can try to be creative to find ways for them to succeed, and Interfaith supports that 100%.
Very recently, one of our clients, she came with nothing. She had no job, no place to live. She was struggling with connections. After 6 months with us, she had a place to live. She had a job. She was still coming in just for the connection. If I can just reach one of those, I'm happy. I feel like everybody deserves a chance at quality care, regardless of your economic status. The client is the one doing all the work. We provide a safe place for them to do the work.
Today is about strength and resilience, the strength and resilience of the nearly 22,000 people who walked through Interfaith programs in this last year. It's also about the strength and resilience of nearly 250 professionals who have dedicated their lives to helping others. I want to give a round of applause to our amazing, amazing team at Interfaith Community Services.
And remember, we mentioned the open house. One more mention for the open house. You can meet this wonderful staff, or at least some of them, and find out what inspires them in the work they do outside after lunch. Don't miss out on that wonderful opportunity. Now, I want to interrupt the meeting for some business. You may realize that every organization has structure and business behind it, and that's one of the things I do. I've been board chair for 4 years, and I have to say it has been one of the greatest opportunities and experiences of my life. I have enjoyed pretty much every minute of it. And the reason why I have enjoyed pretty much every minute is because we are supported by an incredible group of people who are the board of directors of Interfaith Community Services, community leaders from a variety of backgrounds, in a variety of communities. See their names here. Each year, a few people retire, a few people join us. And what I'd like now is those of you who are here, who are on the board, if you could please stand. I know some of you are here. I see one there. I see a few. Oh, a lot of you are here. Thank you all. No, you're going to have to stay standing because we're going to we got to install you as the board. Even though you're already the board, we got to install you anyway. But I do want to thank you all for your work. It's been incredible being in charge of the board, and I really do love working with all of you as part of this organization, and I hope you all are as enthusiastic about board work as I am, because that's what I'm going to ask you. So now, board, all of you who are here, we're going to install you as the board. So here's the question, and you're supposed to say, I do, something like that. But will you all take on the responsibilities of being the board of directors of Interfaith Community Services, enthusiastically, with inspiration? You can say, I do now. I do. That would be good. Yay. Thank you, board. You can all sit. But before we quit talking about the board, we have business to do. The one thing the board has to do at the annual meeting, read the annual meeting minutes from last year. Quick, read them now. Because I need the board to approve these minutes. So you're all going to, we can't. So, can I get a motion from the board? Someone on the board? A motion, good, and a second. And all the board members, but no non-members, all say aye to approve them? Aye, yes, hopefully we had a quorum. Lastly, I would like to introduce the officers of Interfaith on the board. And I see Lisa Brennick over here. Lisa, could you stand? Lisa is continuing as our secretary. Yay. And Silas Harrington is, Silas, stand. Silas is continuing as our treasurer. So thank you both for offering your services. And we have two new officers. We have is going to be our new vice chair. And then exciting, personally, to me, is our new board chair, Dr. Kadri Webb. Yay!
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much, Reverend May. Great leadership. Let me just pause to share with you all some of the challenges that you all are aware of through which he has led us. 4 years is a long time leading an organization of this size and a growing organization. As you've seen by the numbers that were presented, as you see by what's been presented in your packet, Interfaith has done awesome, awesome work. But the board knows and the staff knows more than anyone how much we've grown. Our employee numbers have practically doubled. Our budget has probably doubled. And so we also have a pandemic as well. Let's not forget that. And so I want to honor her and thank her for 4 years. It's been an honor to sit in the second chair alongside her and to support her in any way I could. And so thank you so much. I'm looking forward, with your help and advisement, to leading Interfaith as our board chair, and count it a signal honor and privilege. And so come on, everyone, let's thank Reverend Meg. Give her a round of applause. That's right, we can do a well deserved. Well deserved round of applause. Reverend Meg, as you look back on your 4 years as board chair, what stands out to you? 4 years is a long time, but what stands out the most to you?
You know, I've been thinking about that for a time, and of course, I can't give you all a sermon. But I will point out that my hair was a different color when we started.
Mine was.
I'm done. Yours too. It will be when you're done.
Oh, gosh.
I remember many things that we've done. Open new programs, the Turk Centers we've talked about, wellness we began. We've changed our partnerships. We started our really strong partnership with Neighborhood Health, working in our Washington location. So many new things that we have done. But I think really what is extraordinary to me about Interfaith and what keeps me connected with the organization is the way, even as we start new programs, recognize new needs, new challenges, we haven't changed. What we are is a community organization where different people with backgrounds that would mean they don't have, they don't think anything in common, people with different priorities, people with different organizations, they come together for the good of our community. And we who are here, all of us from different backgrounds, different thoughts, different faith communities, we come together. And it's extraordinary in this day and age. Nobody comes together to solve problems anymore. But we at Interfaith, we come together to solve problems. One thing that is very exciting to me as I leave the board chair and turn it on to Kadri is that we've taken on one new challenge. For so many years, all through Interfaith's history, our job has been to meet people's needs. But we've begun to ask the question, where do those needs come from? What causes poverty? What causes people to fall out of society? What is it that we can do to change the systems that cause the problems? No longer just going to meet the needs, but we're going to figure out, learn about that, educate each other, and maybe even change the way our world works by answering them. And that to me is exciting. And I thank you all for being part of this organization, for working together, and continuing to have that dream that together we can make our community better. So thank you. So that's enough of a speech by me. Now it's your turn to dream. Tell us, where do you think the organization going? What excites you about the next couple years?
So Interfaith's tremendous momentum excites me. All the board members will probably chuckle at this because we've had extensive discussions around our pacing and making sure that we're responsive and growing. But the fact that we have a certain momentum about us is extremely exciting to me. And as board chair, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just simply need to make sure that the momentum continues in a responsible way. As I shared, so much growth has happened, and hopefully we'll have even more growth under my leadership. But beyond that, what me and Reverend Meg just kind of took part of my speech, as preachers sometimes do. Most important to me is making sure that we understand the why. It's not just about your money, it's about your mentality. And so having an obviously black man at the helm of this organization, where we are addressing all kinds of things that plague people in our communities, I hope that we begin to understand why people are where they are. That it's not always their fault. That it's not always a case of negligence. By volunteering or by checking the box with your donation, you're not checking a moral box, but that you're really developing a mentality that helps you to understand, because with mentality, in our faith center, we would say you can do ministry. And beyond bringing someone in for a program, you can really reach them, not just putting them in a house, not just giving them a job, but you can help them really in the heart. And so that's my goal. My goal is to make sure that we understand the why behind what we do.
Congratulations, Dr. Webb. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Meg, we can never thank you enough. Thank you.
This is how we do at my church. But there you go. Right.
As Megan and Kadri just shared, we have some new initiatives that we're working on, and we'd like to spend just a few minutes in the rest of this meeting to share some of those with you today.
In 2020, our board affirmed that we cannot truly and genuinely and authentically fulfill our mission of helping people to help themselves if we're not addressing racism of all forms. To support our work to become an anti-racist organization, we partnered with some diversity consultants. We don't have all the answers. We don't profess to have all the answers, but we're working with folks who we believe have more answers than we had. That we've solicited the help and partnership of diversity consultants, Dr. Nate Sessoms and Debbie Lumpkin, and I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Sessoms, who is here today to share more about their work. Come on, let's welcome Dr.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. It's an honor to be here. First of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Kadri Webb on being elected board chair. I want to acknowledge and congratulate all of those newly elected board members, and special thanks to Greg for the invitation to be here this afternoon. Let me start by introducing myself and sharing Debbie Lumpkin as my colleague. We're with Success Beyond Measure. We have been working for the past 7 months to partner with the amazing staff at Interfaith in assisting the organization to become anti-racist. And for those who may not know, anti-racism advances the idea that each of us plays a role in creating the more just and equitable society that we desire to live in. How has that journey been going? You ask great questions on a Thursday afternoon. Thank you for that. We started by working with an amazing group of individuals at Interfaith known as the Racial Justice Working Group. And this very committed, very dedicated group of people are charged with keeping the conversation going internally, but also thinking about ways that the organization can engage in changing the systems outside of Interfaith. And so we're thankful to that group and thankful to do that work. Next, and I don't want to steal Greg's thunder, but I think I might just do that.
Go ahead.
We have been training all of the Interfaith staff. So each staff team at Interfaith has been trained in anti-racism. Each team, which is a significant accomplishment. And so we're thankful for that opportunity. One of the basic tenets of anti-racism is listening and learning. Listening and learning. And to that end, we've engaged in listening sessions. All staff have been invited to participate in those so we can find out more about the needs and desires of all staff members. And finally, we're working on resources to think about policy development and policy revision. Now, all of those are very bold steps. They're all very bold steps. But isn't that interfaith? Isn't that interfaith, right? Boldly answering the call to help people help themselves. So we're very thankful for the partnership. We look forward to growing it and strengthening it. And we'll be outside at the open house, willing to speak with anyone who wants to talk more about this. Thank you.
One of the members of our racial justice working group in one of our town hall meetings shared the importance of this work because the impact of racism is such an important part of the life experience of so many people who we're working with. So regardless of individuals have experienced it in certain ways themselves, understanding and being able to address it is simply a requirement in this world that we operate and in the mission that we have. And I think about that as we look to our next initiative, because Interfaith for generations has done and helped a lot of families overcome homelessness. And so to share with you today the next chapter of helping families overcome homelessness, I'm really honored to introduce you to one of my closest colleagues, our Chief Program Officer, Felipa Rios. Felipa.
Hi everyone, how are you? I'm really excited to be here and share about Interfaith Community Services and our goal to help families in crisis. So on August 18th, Interfaith opened the doors to our new family shelter program. Since then, we have served a total of 14 families and out of them 25 children. Wow. I want to tell you the story of one of those families, and I want to share how this family came to Interfaith. And this family is only one of the 22,000 families, the 22,000 children who are either facing homelessness or who are currently living in a housing insecure environment. We're going to call the mom Angela. Angela came to us seeking rental assistance. She was in a relationship that was not healthy, and her partner was the leaseholder of her unit. When Angela came to us, she was actually just looking for rental assistance. And our one case manager was able to go through the assessment process with Angela and help her realize that the place where she was living and the person she was living with was not a safe environment. Angela shared with her deepest desire to get out of that relationship, actually move out into her own. She was fearful, though. She didn't want to have her 2 young children living out on the streets. That case manager worked with her and offered her a spot in our new emergency family shelter, the first low-barrier family shelter in North San Diego County. Angela went into that shelter, and within 30 days, she found housing, an affordable housing complex in the city of Oceanside. Angela today continues to work with our case manager. Her and her children are going to counseling. They're getting ready to go to counseling. With your support, they're able to make it a home and to have their very first holidays in a safe and healthy environment. So we want to thank you, and we want to thank our amazing program staff for all the wonderful work that they do in supporting the families in North San Diego County.
to answer Reverend Meg's question about who can name all 75 programs, that's the lady who could probably answer that question for you. Thank you again to Philippa and her team and for all the hard work that they do to keep us moving programmatically in a responsible way to help people help themselves. You'll hear me say that a lot today because we want you to walk out not just saying it, but embodying it. We are helping people, you fill in the rest, help themselves. That's it. Our recent strategic planning process identified the need to educate the larger community around the realities of poverty and homelessness. For many people, depending on what your social background is, for you, that may not be a reality. You may not have the same social lens that others have, but if you move out far enough, if you ride just down the street, you'll see that poverty and homelessness are realities. And so our recent strategic planning process focused on making sure that people are educated on that. We're so proud of a former colleague of mine whom I'm so glad to see today, Zainab Ilgaz, and in particular, her 12-year-old son, Arden Pala. This 12-year-old young man has a new documentary on homelessness, and we want you to take a look.
San Diego has the 5th largest homeless population in the country. Those people have a story.
My husband had gotten laid off from his.
Oh. It happens in church, at your faith center all the time. We'll take a moment, like we do in my faith tradition, look at your neighbor and say, 1 second. Smile at them. Why is the light so dark on me? Okay. We'll give them a moment. It's very hard technologically to do all of this, so we acknowledge all the hard work going on in the back. But we cannot miss this.
San Diego has the 5th largest homeless population in the country. People have a story.
My husband had gotten laid off from his job that he had been at for 12 years.
Even though I could find some income, my home was a car for about 5 years.
You feel disconnected by light years from just normalcy.
Anyone given a second chance is given an opportunity, a way to move forward.
Let's give a round of applause. Arden is here today, and it's my honor to present to you all Mr. Arden Pala. Let's give this 12-year-old young man a hand.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. I'm very grateful to be standing here and talking to you about homelessness in San Diego. I also wanted to thank Interfaith Community Services for letting me interview some amazing individuals about this issue. Homelessness is something we need to keep addressing in our city. Last year, the number of unsheltered people in San Diego doubled due to the pandemic, and more help is needed. My goal throughout this documentary, A Second Chance, is to show people that are homeless in the city are still San Diegans. San Diego has the 5th largest homeless population in the country, and I think we need a lot of help to decrease the amount of homelessness in San Diego. In this documentary, I incorporated interviews of individuals that have been homeless and experts that are working to help resolve homelessness. This documentary explains how hard it actually is to be homeless and the importance of second chances. Hearing all these stories has changed the way I think of homelessness. In my documentary, I hope it positively changes the way you think about homelessness too. My time spent with the homeless and the organizations that support them gives me hope. Thank you to Interfaith Community Services for providing the second chance to so many wonderful people. Thank you.
Another round of applause.
12 years old.
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 There are young people who are making positive impact and change in our communities, and so every time I see a young man or a young woman making positive change, it excites me. It lets me know, and I hope it lets you know as well, that the future is not lost and that it is in your hands. And so thank you again, Arden, for that hard work, and thank you, of course, to Interfaith for allowing to interview some of our clientele. Through Interfaith, you heard Arden just speak about second chances. And through Interfaith, you're providing second chances to people every single day. I want those words to resonate with you. Every single day of Interfaith, even if you're not present, you are providing second chances. Those second chances and the remarkable life-changing outcomes that Interfaith creates each year rely upon your generous donations and volunteer support. Many of you find what you do to be inconsequential. You may not think that it amounts to much, but when we compound it all together, that is the work of Interfaith. The dollar that you give, if that's all you have, is not too small. The $1 million that you give, if you'd like to write a check today, is not too large. And anything in between all contributes to helping people to have chances. Even that, the volunteer opportunities. You may have 30 minutes on break where you rush to 550 or to one of our other sites and you help people out. It's not too small. If you have a whole day, a whole week, it's not too large. This, again, is the work of Interfaith. We provide second chances. We help people to help themselves. And to talk more about how you can further support the work of Interfaith, I have the high privilege and honor of introducing our Chief Development Officer, Verenda Missett.
Thank you. Thanks, Kadri. Thanks, Greg. We're so happy to have so many people out today celebrating Interfaith. You see so many faces, new faces, and older faces, so thank you. We are inviting you outside after this for open house. It will showcase the work that our wonderful program staff does that you all support. It will also have some art therapy. As Mauro said, he'll be doing an auction item that we'll be adding to our auction that closes at midnight. We also have art therapy, horse therapy, just a whole bunch of stuff, and it's a sneak peek for a larger event that we're planning February 26th at the Viasat campus in Carlsbad called Change Your Mind. And Change Your Mind is our event that is going to be dedicated to rethinking our mental health in our community. So there's some save the dates on your table. I think there's some save the dates out there. We can talk about it later. Your QR codes are on your table, please. We have a trip to New York. We have a barbecue dinner from Greg. We have from former board members. So please, please, it closes tonight at midnight. We need your help, but we hope that you all join us outside.
Thank you, Verenda. Before we close out, we're going to hear from one more individual who you've helped this last year. And before I turn it over to her to share her story, I want to thank all of you for being here. And I want to thank all of you for who you are. I want to thank those of you who work with us at Interfaith, who make a career out of this. I want to thank those of you who volunteer. I want to thank those of you who donate. I want to thank those of you who work with us in partnership. Because you are a part of something bigger than yourself. You are a part of something that we need more of in this world. And we can address the biggest challenges facing us working together, bringing together a diversity of people together in partnership. You are doing this every day. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being a part of something larger than yourself. Thank you for being a part of Interfaith Community Services. And thank you for helping people in their time of need.
Well, I had a good job when I moved in here. I mean, I was a nurse half my life, and I was making like $40,000 when I moved in here. I was in a bad car accident, and I couldn't do it anymore. And my car was totaled. And then I lost a job. So it wasn't that I didn't want to work. I just couldn't do what I was used to doing. I was just doing like part-time work. and I just wasn't enough money to pay the bill. Buy a new car too, and I couldn't afford it, so my neighbors and my daughter were helping me out. Well, it was kind of scary, you know, that you can't live, and I wish I had saved for retirement. Gave me some food, and so they helped me pay my rent for that month and any other little things.
What we're dealing with are really crisis kind of situations where we just have to triage and then step by step try to figure out what we can do to help the client. It just feels really rewarding. You really do have to do, you give them goals, and you know they'll achieve a goal, then you go to the next goal.
It's good to know you have a place you can go asking people for money. So if I can get the resources, I'll use them. Yeah, no, I'm glad they're out there.
It's just amazing when you realize that a client's ready to make a change and they're going to move forward with it.
I wasn't alone. Somebody out there.
This is the as a native Baltimorean, as a black, as one who has struggled to accomplish some of the stair marks and benchmarks that I've reached today, this is my passion. Seeing people like Joan be rehabilitated. You're here today, so it's your passion as well. I want to challenge you to let's continue to help people help themselves. If you don't mind, in my faith tradition, we do a lot of call and response. Look at someone, tell them, let's help together. Look at them, tell them, let's help together. Look at someone on the other side, say, let's help folks together. Let's help folks together. All right, we want to thank everyone again for being here. We want to remind you of a couple of things. We want to remind you again to visit our open house. Visit our open house outside. I hope you'll take some time there. I personally want to meet many of you. I'm not going to hug you, but I will give you a fist bump. I'd like to be connected to the people of Interfaith, and so I'll be outside for a while sharing with you all. I'd love to hear about you, hear about the Interfaith stories, ways that Interfaith has impacted your life as well. The centerpieces on our tables, these beautiful flowers are yours to take. By all means, please take brothers. You can get some, take those to your wife or your girlfriend. All right. Make sure you grab those. Morrow, grab those for Hillary. Hillary, turn your head. All right. So take the flowers. And just before we go, we have helped make it possible. Want to thank just a few persons who have helped make today possible. As you can see, this takes a lot of work. And so in particular, we want to thank Mitch Snow, who put this all together. Mitch, wave your hand. He's running around somewhere. Let's thank Mitch. Thank you to Native Tongue Media, Alyssa and Jeremiah. Thank you for what you've done with technology today. Thank you to Jay. Thank you to all of our Interfaith employees. Thank you to give our employees a hand.